For perfectionists, it's doubly tough to admit that we're scared or uncertain or unsure. There's a fear that if we show any sign of wavering, even to ourselves, we'll lose credibility. But here's the freeing truth. Acknowledging that you're worried doesn't weaken you, it humanizes you. Welcome to the Choose Better Thoughts podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Doyle, certified life and leadership coach, and I'm here to help you make your complex life feel easy. Every episode, we tackle one subconscious limiting belief. You will leave this space having shifted your mindset to level up your career, embrace a Zen-like style of parenting, and finally savor the life you've worked so hard to create. So pop in your earbuds and let's do some coaching. If you've ever found yourself in a spiral over whether to switch careers or even just feeling stuck between two seemingly good choices, then this episode is for you. I see this all the time with the successful women I coach. We tell ourselves, I might make the wrong decision, and suddenly every choice, big or small, feels like it carries the weight of the world. This might look like waking up at 2 a.m. thinking, what if I regret moving neighborhoods? Should I stay in my secure job or leap to a new role? Does this sound familiar? I got you. In today's episode, we'll explore how to catch this sneaky thought before it spirals, how to let yourself feel the natural jitters around it, and ultimately how to start trusting that you can make a choice and handle the results no matter what. Think of it as a gentle shift from self-doubt to self-assurance. One of the first and most crucial steps to quieting the limiting belief, I might make the wrong decision, is to become aware of this often subconscious thought that can hijack your daily life, sometimes without you even realizing it's happening. Maybe you keep redrafting someone's performance review at work. Should I phrase it this way or that way? Because you dread the possibility of sounding too direct. Or maybe you've tried to pick a restaurant for a girls' night and ended up searching every review site, texting each friend for preferences, worrying if everyone will like your final pick. I will confess, I have been there too. My group chats can get hilariously long when I overthink a simple dinner choice. But it's not just harmless indecision. It can create a real anxiety spiral and energy suck. The mind quietly whispers, watch out, you could blow this. And that's when it starts feeling like a full-time job. So think for a moment, when was the last time you found yourself stuck in a decision, worrying about being wrong? Let's talk about two common ways we respond when we're scared of messing up. Number one, avoidance. This might look like dodging choices entirely, hoping your boss or your partner or fate itself will decide for you. Or number two, overcompensation. This is me all day, often showing up as endless research, people-pleasing, or insisting on perfection so nobody can question you. I will be honest, I used to pride myself on being so prepared that no one could possibly find fault with me. Endless spreadsheets, pros and cons lists, multiple drafts. But looking back, it was less about being thorough and more about craving certainty and approval. I see this all the time in my clients too. Here's a tip. Your body often sends a warning signal before your mind fully registers it. A tightness in your chest, a racing heart, sweaty palms. These are red flags that say, hello, we are terrified of making the wrong call. If you ignore them, you can go deeper and deeper into avoidance or overcompensation. Sometimes we think we need more time or more info, but we might actually need more trust in ourselves. If you can catch these early signs that your body is sending you, you can stop the mental fear spiral from gaining momentum and wasting your time. One more note, it's so easy to feel annoyed or ashamed or assume that indecisiveness is your identity. But self-awareness isn't about scolding yourself. It's about calmly noticing, okay, I'm worried I'll screw up because I care a lot about doing things right. Usually, this perfectionist streak is fueled by a desire to avoid pain, like embarrassment or letting people down. The next time you feel that tension, just try acknowledging it with compassion instead of judgment. It really lightens things up. Now that you know it's possible to spot that I might make the wrong decision mindset, like trying on half of your closet without settling on an outfit or wrestling with whether to accept responsibility for a big project at work, let's explore what happens next. Because letting those anxious feelings exist might feel weird or counterintuitive at first, yet it's simpler and more powerful than you think. And we'll see how to hold that fear gently instead of scrambling for outside validation. So picture this. You've done the first step. You see your pattern of overthinking or avoidance. Maybe it's about choosing a place to live or worrying about what your boss will think if you propose a new idea. And now your brain's like, okay, got it. Let's fix this ASAP. Because if there's one thing high achievers hate, it's unresolved discomfort. But you can't just snap your fingers and be fearless. That doesn't happen overnight. Allowing your human experience means giving yourself permission to feel all of the uncertainty, to feel all of the messiness. Yes, even the restlessness, the doubt, the nagging fears, without sprinting for the nearest exit. Let's say you've realized you're terrified a new job might be the wrong move, and your first impulse is to ask 10 more people for advice. Instead, what if you paused long enough to say, okay, body, what's going on here? Where do I feel this tension? We often resist these uneasy feelings because we're afraid they'll confirm our deepest insecurities. For perfectionists, it's doubly tough to admit that we're scared or uncertain or unsure. There's a fear that if we show any sign of wavering, even to ourselves, we'll lose credibility. But here's the freeing truth. Acknowledging that you're worried doesn't weaken you. It humanizes you. When I first embraced the idea that my nerves were just a part of being human and not a sign that something was wrong or I needed to do anything, it was like I gave myself a permission slip to exhale. So, what's one fear you secretly worry might be confirmed if you let yourself feel uncertain? Is it failure or embarrassment or letting people down? Instead of checking in, many of us instinctively shut down anxiety with Netflix binges or mindless social media scrolling or just one more glass of wine. No judgment here, absolutely no judgment. I've been in all of those loops too. But if you really want to cultivate self-trust, you need a new approach. The next time your mind tells you, this is scary, I don't know what's happening, run away, consider letting that anxious energy just be present for a moment. Notice it in your body, in your stomach, maybe a tightness in your jaw. Take a slow, deliberate breath and remind yourself that these sensations are not permanent and they're natural. And if we don't allow them in one situation, they will surface in another. So this is just strategic. Every decision we make is ultimately about wanting to feel a certain way, safe or successful or fulfilled. Once you identify the feeling you're aiming for, you can ask yourself, how can I create a sense of that feeling right now? If you want to feel accomplished, for example, maybe you make a small, quick decision, like choosing tonight's dinner, and celebrate it as a win. From there, you can have the confidence to make bigger decisions. Building trust in yourself happens one doable step at a time. This practice rewires your brain to see decision-making as a chance to grow, not something to fear. It also reminds you that you don't have to earn the right to feel good about your choices. You can actually decide to be proud of any choice you make. Which feeling, peace, confidence, maybe excitement, do you want to feel more of when you are making decisions? And how might you cultivate that feeling in some small way this week? And hey, I get it. We all love a quick fix, especially if it comes with someone else's reassurance. But here's the paradox. Seeking constant reassurance often reinforces the belief that you can't trust yourself. Allowing the anxiety to exist, as uncomfortable as it is, helps break that cycle. Each time you resist texting all your friends for validation or second guessing your choice of a restaurant, you're proving to your brain that you can handle a little uncertainty. Over time, that's how real confidence and self-trust grows. All right. By now, you've built some awareness of how the fear I might make the wrong decision appears. And you've practiced letting yourself feel those anxious jitters without sprinting for an escape route. But what's next? This is the moment to pop the hood of your mind and ask, what am I really believing here? And is it even true? We often weave entire subconscious dramas in our head. Like, if I choose the wrong job, my career is doomed. Or if I buy the wrong house, my family will never be happy. I personally just went through this loop, thinking that if we didn't buy this particular house, there was no option B, and I would have failed my entire family. But when we actually stop and give ourselves space to question these narratives, we see a lot of assumptions and not much hard evidence. The space I offer you is right now as you're listening to this podcast. Let's actually question some of your subconscious stories. Sometimes I challenge my clients to show me the receipts for their worst case scenarios. Where's the proof that you don't make good decisions? Almost always they'll realize they've made mostly solid calls in the past. Picking supportive friends, moving to a city they love, nailing a nerve-wracking presentation. But guess what? Our brains love fixating on the one or two times that something went sideways. This is where confirmation bias sneaks in. If you believe you're prone to messing up, you'll pounce on every little misstep as proof that you can't be trusted, ignoring all the times you chose really well. It's like having a personal assistant who only hands you negative Yelp reviews about that new sushi spot, never mentioning all of the 5-star rave reviews. One way to fight back is by asking, what if, in a positive, open-ended way? Like, what if taking that slightly less flashy job gives me the work-life balance I've always wanted? Or what if I actually learn something awesome from a so-called wrong decision? This isn't about forced optimism. It's about reminding yourself that multiple outcomes are possible and some could be surprisingly good, and you have the option to make all of them good for you. I also encourage you to do a quick success inventory. Think of 3 decisions, big or small, that you handled pretty well, even if they weren't perfect at the time. This isn't about sugarcoating mistakes. It's about showing your brain that you're more capable than your fear suggests. Mark Nepo has a beautiful way of putting it. When we embrace the unknown, we open ourselves to wonder instead of dread. What a more delightful way to live life. So, what if your wrong decision is actually just a different path to an unexpected but worthwhile outcome? So here we are. You've poked holes in the story that says I might make the wrong decision and ruin everything. You're recognizing anxious thoughts for what they are and seeing evidence that you've made a lot of good calls in the past. But sometimes there's a gap between logically knowing you're not doomed and actually feeling confident in a new decision. This is where the trusty bridge thought can help. Instead of trying to catapult yourself from I'm terrified straight to I'm 100% sure I'll never regret this, consider a gentler step in between. Something like, I can handle whatever comes from this decision. Or it's possible I'll be glad I chose this. That small shift can open a door in your mind, reminding you that you do have inner resources to adapt, even if things don't go as planned. I have seen incredible transformations when clients repeat bridge thoughts like this, almost like little mantras. Over time, they can expand into a broader self-trust, shifting from I might survive this to I can thrive no matter what the circumstances. So what do you want? More peace, more freedom, more growth? Take a moment to picture your life if you had a little bit more confidence in your decision making. Maybe you wouldn't agonize over every detail, like which airline to fly or which fabric your new couch should be. All that energy you save could go into a passion project or simply relaxing more. Ultimately, aligning to what you want means giving yourself permission to prioritize your own values rather than trying to avoid worst-case scenarios 24/7. Over time, you'll realize that the calmer, more trusting version of you is better equipped to handle curveballs anyway. If you need a quick prompt, try asking, what would I do if I knew I could handle the outcome? You might be surprised how quickly your mind offers a clear direction when fear of regret isn't hogging the spotlight. So we've come a long way from spotting the fear-driven thought itself to allowing the uncomfortable feelings to analyzing the validity of this so-called worst-case scenario and finally realigning and imagining with a more grounded mindset what you want. But how do you actually put all of this into practice in your life? Here's where a simple action step can lock in this new perspective. Because let's face it, reading or listening is one thing, but doing is where the magic happens. And you don't have to start with life-altering decisions. Begin small. Pick something low stakes this week, like choosing a new recipe for dinner, deciding to buy something, or maybe even deciding to take a day off of work for yourself. Then consciously apply the following steps. Step 1, notice the fear. Recognize when your mind starts whispering, what if I get this wrong? Allow the tension. Give yourself permission to feel any nerves or jitters without rushing to fix them. Analyze and reframe. Remind yourself of your bridge thought. I can handle whatever comes. And then decide and follow through. Make your choice and see it through. No second guessing or endless rechecking. And finally, celebrate. Look back on how it went. Did the sky fall? Probably not. Notice that sense of relief or pride in taking action, no matter the outcome. The more you practice these steps, the more automatic they'll become. You'll start to trust yourself to pick a restaurant without reading 50 reviews, or to pitch an idea at work without obsessing over every word. And as your confidence grows on the small stuff, you'll feel more prepared for those bigger crossroads, like job changes, relocations, or major financial decisions. If you love personal support turning these ideas into habits, my coaching program helps ambitious women make decisions with less stress and more clarity. I am here for you. And remember, progress doesn't have to be complicated. Every time you move from paralyzed what if to a decisive let's do it, you're building a foundation of self-trust. You're proving you can navigate uncertainty and come out stronger on the other side. All right, that's it for now. Keep practicing these steps and watch how your decision-making style evolves. You've got this. And if you stumble along the way, guess what? That's part of the journey. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode where we'll tackle another sneaky limiting belief that is holding you back. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Choose Better Thoughts podcast. If you found these ideas helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who is also craving more confidence, connection, and calm. For more free resources and a deeper dive into my step-by-step formula for making your complex life feel easy, head over to my website at choosebetterthoughts.com. Until next time, remember that you're already there, already enough and your goals are as good as done. You've